Hello and welcome to my channel. We are back to one of my most favorite fixed blade knife design of all time. Now yes, I'm gonna be taking some flack again because there's gonna be no use for me for this knife, so they say. But my rebuttal will be whatever kind of design of knife that I choose to get, be it a tactical knife that's designed for killing, even though I don't have any plan on killing someone, it's just with me. It is the same with this knife, although this knife is a tracker knife. You would see that in the title already. And this tracker knife is one of my favorite knives that is not a tracker knife coming from CFK Cutlery. This tracker knife is a TNC USA Bounish tool with a D2 tool steel. I bought this knife longer than all of the TNZ USA Bounish Tools knife that I had. I mean, this is the first Bounish tool TNC USA knife that I had. There were others that came. If you're familiar with the acid wash tracker that I did, I'll put the link here. That guy was also TNC USA. Plus there's also the Sunburst Micarta D2 steel, which is the same as this. This is D2, which has that. I also put the link here for that one. That was also a TNC USA knife. And another one would be the Karambit, the TNC USA Karambit, that I also did a review on, and I'd put that link here as well. Of all those four, this guy is the first that I bought, and it is the last of the four that I'm doing a review with, because if you can't tell already, this is my most favorite of the four. Ginger tea. Why, you say? Why is this my favorite? Well, for one, the shape of this tracker knife is optimized for butchering, and it's got that I really don't like the full belly here. That's too fat, because the tip would be suffering, so it would not have a pointy tip for thrusting. But as you can see on this one, it's nearer the tops warp rather. I really like that knife, but it's kind of big, and this one is really not that big. It's just about right. Wait one sec. This guy has that look, which is my favorite for any tracker knife that has a pointy tip. You know, as much as I'd like tracker knife, if they don't have that pointy tip, I don't like it. It's like you don't have a thrusting ability with that knife if it's a very broad, fat belly here. That pointy tip helps a lot for piercing. And besides that, this knife has the best ergonomics among the 4 TNC USA knives that I have. The Micarta, the green, gray, black sunburst Micarta just looks so good. It really has got very fine detail. Even the mosaic pin is nicely done. For D2 steel, D2 also has that, it's not corrosion proof, but it is semi-stainless, so it's got mild resistance to corrosion. As I've mentioned before, on the acid washing Damascus that I did for TNC USA, it was very prone to rusting, and they're using this similar leather. You know, this leather, in fairness, this knife has been in the sheath forever, and the only rusting that I can find would be there, if you can see that, see, on the tip of the sawtooth, in the middle, see that, see the center of the screen, and probably the insides if you can see it. That's the only point of rusting that I see here. Maybe a little bit here on the handle. You can see that. But overall, the rust resistance of this knife, I would say, so good. And I love it. A really good knife for me. I'm so shallow. I'm not that, what do you call this, nitpicking the smallest details of a knife. As long as the knife doesn't rust, it's symmetrical, even though the pins are not, what do you call this, crowned. I mean, it's straight ish. You can see that bent to the right a little bit if you check that blade here. Straight-ish. The plunge line, the grind on the plunge line is straight. And most tracker knives that I have, they have a very weak concave grind on the inside edge. If you can see on this one, that hump here, this one, wait, yeah, that hump there would be a telltale sign of how good the concave has been ground on this edge. And as you can see, you can clearly see the concave. Concave grind is like a razor because the contact wheel I need to explain the different kinds of grind first. But anyways, these two, that's why they're dissimilar, because it has different grinds. This has a concave grind, or a hollow grind, I'm sorry. It's called a hollow grind in knife parlance. Hollow grind delivers a very thin cutting edge. So for whatever its intended purpose, this inside edge has a very thin cutting edge as compared to a low saber grind that is in this edge here, which is on the belly. So that's the purpose of the tracker knife. It has different grinds in one knife. So this one for fine detail work because the edge is so thin because of that hollow grind, and this one for heavy duty purposes for chopping because that is a low saber grind, and saber grinds are just thick, you know, as compared to hollow grind, which is thin. I think it's the first time I've explained that for a tracker knife, and that's why I love tracker knives. They are two knives in one. So just a quick weigh-in on how heavy this guy is. Come on, show me something that you're not gonna be getting. Okay, that's a bit dark, but there you go. 14.6 ounces, 0.91 pounds, 416 grams, 0.416 kilograms, 14.6 ounces. Well, that's definitely not folding blade territory, even EDC, but that is a tracker knife we're talking about. So 14.6 ounces plus the sheath, that's 18.5 overall. 14.6 is not that bad. I can carry a 14.6 ounce blade, especially if it's a 2-in-1. How long is this guy? It's just 1/8 inch shy of 11 inches. So overall length would be around 10 3/4. Just, it did not reach 11 inch total from the tip of the blade to the pommel. And the total overall blade area from tip to this part here, that's 5.5 inches. There's 2 inches of blade area for the hollow grind and 3.5 inches of blade area for the low saber grind. Plus with the D2 steel and the half, plus the good ergonomics on this handle, plus the solidity of how the micarta has been made, integrated into the knife without gaps in the handle. I would say that this is the best TNC USA knife that I have. And the karambit would come close because that's also a nice burlwood handle. But for the tracker knife, TNC USA tracker knife with a Bounish Tools D2 steel, this is the best. I would say so. And just a quick comparison on my staple tracker knife blade that I would carry. It will be a toss-up between these two. Damascus steel if I'm not gonna be in a saltwater environment, and if you're gonna be in a saltwater environment, I'd be bringing this. Although it would still get rusted in a saltwater environment. It would have a better rust resistance as compared to a Damascus steel. And if you can see the blade profile, the blade shape on these ones, they are almost very similar with that pointy tip. And that's about the best characteristic of a tracker knife that I always look for. This one already has a sheath that I made for it, a Kydex sheath that I made for it. This one still resides in this poor old leather sheath, and one day I may need to do a Kydex sheath for this knife, because I would say that this is not going anywhere and it would be a mainstay in my knife collection. I think I've covered everything. Waited. Oh, sorry. Just one last thing. A quick cutting test to ascertain how sharp this. Let's try the. Nice. That's the outer grind. That's the low saber grind. That's supposed to be the grind that is resistant to rolling when you're chopping wood. But see, it is cutting paper, not simply mangling it, but cutting it. Now let's try the inside hollow grind, which is meant for finer cutting task. Maybe we can't see the difference when it's cutting paper. Maybe we'd see the difference when it's cutting wood or meat or game. But it's the same, more or less the same when it's cutting paper. Importantly, it cuts paper and it's not mangling it. So I guess that will be all for this knife. TNC USA Bounish Tools D2 tool steel tracker knife, the best one that I have, best one that I've got. Thank you for watching. I hope you like this video. Do keep the support coming, and I will be seeing you guys in the next video.